Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day. One could watch this and think that you really hate Sean Combs.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time.
Gotta ask you, Janice Combs, how you feel about her? I mean, they alleging that she was, having freak-off.
I spoke to a man, Mr. Brown, who used to go to the freak-offs. And he knew Miss Combs and he knew about her and her freak-offs and everything like that. We had always thought that she had a modeling agency, but it wasn't a modeling agency. It was more a brothel that she ran for high-profile drug dealers.
50 Cent has confirmed that Season 2 of his documentary series, Sean Diddy Combs. The Reckoning is currently in the works, and this time the focus is expected to shift toward Janice Combs, widely recognized as a powerful influence in her son's life and an important presence during the early rise of bad boy entertainment. While some material reportedly did not appear in the first season, 50 now plans to share additional unseen footage independently on YouTube, promising viewers a deeper and more detailed perspective. With new content and fresh angles set to be introduced, the upcoming installment is positioned to continue expanding the broader conversation surrounding the legacy and impact of those involved.
Yeah, my mom's gorgeous. Hold on, let me introduce you to my mom, called Mom Dukes.
Hi.
She's getting a drip with me. She's hydrating. What's up, Mom?
Everything's good, baby. I'll be with you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
The story traces back to Diddy's early years. In the Netflix documentary, childhood friend Tim Patterson reflects on how Diddy's father, who had ties to Harlem street culture, passed away when Diddy was very young. Following that loss, his mother, Janice Combs, took the lead in raising him and maintaining their household. According to the film, their home became known for hosting lively gatherings that brought together a wide range of personalities. It was during these moments that a young Diddy was first exposed to conversations about ambition, status, and influence, experiences that would later shake his understanding of power and reputation within his community.
Diddy mom, she came out defending her son, man. How you feel about that? She made a comment saying that he's not a monster.
I guess this is my newfound career, so I'm going to say what on my mind and what I think, brother. First of all, that's his mother. Wrong, right, or indifferent, she going to lie, steal, kill, and protect her child. That's what she's supposed to do. But the apple don't fall far from the tree, man. You got to realize that. You know, he didn't get all this from his daddy because he didn't know his daddy, even though they try to say his daddy was some big time drug dealer in the whole 9 yards. You understand? He didn't get this from his daddy. You got to realize, man, you know, his mother had a modeling agency, and it was alleged that it was also Ladies of the Night, a prostitution ring too.
From early on, Janice Combs is portrayed in the documentary as a woman with strong ambition and a clear sense of direction for her family's future. After Diddy's father passed away, she focused her energy on raising her son with discipline and confidence, encouraging him to step comfortably into social spaces where presence and charisma mattered. Tim Patterson recalls that there was even a small setup in their living room where Diddy and other kids would dance and perform during gatherings, with guests cheering him on and urging him to keep going. Those early moments in front of an audience, surrounded by adults who valued status and influence, are described as formative experiences that helped shape his understanding of attention, performance, and personal power.
Remember when I said Diddy mother might be the originator of the freak-offs? Mm-hmm. All right, so tomorrow Peacock is dropping. According to the Rolling Stone, the doc features an alleged childhood friend of Puff's, hip-hop producer Tim Dog Patterson. He alleged that Janice, Diddy's mom, would often throw parties at Diddy's childhood home. He says that during the parties, it wasn't uncommon to walk into rooms where adults was having sex. I mean, that was just their normal. And the doc, when talking about the parties, Tim says, verbatim, that's what we were privy to. This was what we were fed.
As the documentary digs deeper, it also explores the more complicated layers of Diddy's upbringing. Some individuals who were close to the family, including those interviewed on record, suggests that Janice's influence was deliberate and highly focused, with a strong emphasis on presentation, confidence, and commanding attention. A few observers have admitted that the intensity of that dynamic sometimes stood out to them, noting how early Diddy seemed to understand the mechanics of admiration and social control. The film frames these formative lessons as part of the foundation that later supported his ascent within the music industry, where image, authority, and influence play a powerful role.
Man was talking about that his mother could take her palms and bend over and put them down on the floor. Not bend over, but she could stand straight up and put her palms on the floor, bruh. He's saying that about his mother. Who describes any of their mother action like that in a sexual way? And then, you know, I don't know how many dudes do kiss their mother in their mouth when they 50, 60 years old or something like that. That's them. That's their whole thing, man. But that was a little kind of weird for me. And then his mother wore the same white fingernail polish that Cassie described that he liked to see her and other models in when she was describing her lawsuit. And what's crazy to me is that, man, it seemed like him and his mother had this, I don't want to get too deep, man, this Oedipus complex thing.
He believes she knew about the freakos.
Because one of the witnesses said she was there. And do you remember this, bro? Check it out. People tell off on themselves so much, man, and I don't understand when people don't catch it. Diddy has said this. He said, when I give a party, I have to have an ambulance outside of the house. Paramedics ready. That people have to take IVs. Remember the time that him and his mama kissed each other on the lips?
Yeah, I remember that video.
Do you remember that both of them was getting an IV at the same time?
Yeah, I did notice that, yep.
That's from the Diddy freak off party. And I'm going to say allegedly.
So let me ask you this. You knowing her at one point, you knowing her personally, is she the kind of person that, you know, will be a part of a freak off or no?
I think that she liked to party and she party with young people. She's always been like that. She always copied or emulated Little Kim and Mary J. Blige. Or they emulated her. The blonde hair, the nails, the high boots, the age-appropriate, inappropriate.
According to the narrative presented in the documentary, elements of Diddy's early environment later echoed in the social spaces he became known for hosting as an adult. The film suggests that the atmosphere of high-energy gatherings and carefully curated guest lists felt familiar to what he experienced growing up. It also notes that Janice remained present in his life as his career expanded, with some attendees recalling seeing her at certain events over the years. Rather than framing her role as hidden or directive, the documentary portrays her as a consistent figure in his journey, reinforcing how strongly her early guidance and expectations may have influenced the persona and world he ultimately built for himself.
A relationship, whether it's physical or mental, with a mother and a son. So I'm looking at his mother and him on the couch, and both of them are getting IVs after one of the Diddy parties. Allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly because I wasn't there and I didn't know. But they showed them both getting IVs on the couch. So my whole thing about this thing is that I'm not saying that she was ever at a freak off. She was ever at that type of party. But you can't tell me Miss Janice Combs, who was always at the regular parties.
In the documentary, Gandil reflects on what he perceived as an unusually intense bond between Diddy and his mother following his father's passing. He describes how, at a young age, Diddy was encouraged to step into a more mature role within the household, carrying expectations that may have felt heavy for a child. As his career developed, some observers felt that Janice remained closely involved in his personal and professional world, offering guidance and maintaining a strong presence in key moments of his life. The film presents this dynamic as deeply influential, suggesting that her involvement played a significant part in shaping his confidence, decision-making, and the public persona that later defined his ascent in the music industry.
For the situation where they say he was trying to shape Misa into his mother, can you see that? Like,
yeah, with the blonde hair and yeah, and all of that. I mean, somebody
really
asked a question: what kind of man puts his hands on his mother? The same kind of man that parties with his mom, the same kind of man who kisses his mom in the mouth, the same kind of man who seems to have accurate knowledge that his elderly mother can put both of her hands, her palms, on the floor and while she's standing up, bent over.
Oh damn! I ain't seen that one. Oh.
You never seen the Instagram video where he was talking about how his mom is still young and spry and how she still liked to party and how they was getting a IV drip?
Oh. Damn.
And she was kissing him in the mouth on the video. And it was like, yeah, my mom can bend over and touch the floor with her palms.
No.
It's a very, very, very weird relationship. It's weird.
So how you feel about, her? I mean, they alleging that she was, having freak-offs.
I spoke to a man, Mr. Brown, who used to go to the freak-offs. And this guy lives in Georgia right now. And he told me that he was a stick-up kid back in the day. And one time he had robbed one of their spots. And he went back and he had got the money and gave them their money back and everything like that. And he knew Miss Combs and he knew about her and her freak-offs and everything like that. We had always thought that she had a modeling agency, but it wasn't a modeling agency. It was more a brothel that she ran for high-profile drug dealers and athletes. You could tell I could tell that Miss Combs at the time, and actually saw her, like young guys. She came at me a couple of times back in my heyday, before the extra 75 pounds back then. And the reason I left Bad Boy wasn't only because of her advances. It was because I got tired of a lot of the bullshit.
In the documentary's broader narrative, there are references to accounts from individuals within Diddy's inner circle, including Cassie, who reportedly described aspects of the household dynamic as unconventional and, at times, difficult to interpret from the outside. Rather than detailing specific claims, the film frames these recollections as reflections of a tightly structured family environment, where expectations, loyalty, and image were taken seriously. It suggests that Janice's presence remained influential across many areas of Diddy's life, contributing to a culture that those close to them found intense and distinctive. According to the documentary's perspective, these early experiences became part of the complex foundation that shaped his personality, leadership style, and the world he later built around himself.
Janice Combs is speaking out about the Netflix documentary, Sean Combs' The Reckoning. In a statement to Deadline, she said, "These inaccuracies regarding my son Sean's upbringing and family life are intentionally done to mislead viewers and to further harm our reputation." She also maintains she was not an abusive parent and says that Diddy never slapped her as previously stated in the documentary.
You think it's Diddy, it's Janice Combs. Janice Combs is bad boy. Man. You don't actually sign to Diddy. His name is on the dotted line, but you actually sign it to Janice Combs.
Did he ever tell you why that is, or do you understand?
Oh, now that I'm older, I know exactly what it is. It's a paper trail, so nothing can come bite me. If you come for me, you ain't coming for me. I ain't got nothing. You going to my mom.
Looking back at the documentary's portrayal of his early years, Diddy's childhood is described as anything but ordinary. Interviews suggest that his home was often filled with activity, with Janice maintaining a wide social circle and regularly hosting gatherings that brought different personalities through their doors. Those who recall that period describe it as a lively, tightly managed environment where relationships and reputation carried weight. Growing up in that atmosphere, Diddy is said to have observed how organization, confidence, and social awareness could shape outcomes. Lessons that, according to the film, later translated into the way he navigated the music industry and built his brand.
The 2000s and 2010s, Diddy was really prospering, music, business, fashion. And one of the things that he had said, what he alleged in the documentary, and again, this is an allegation from him, was that the name Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs's name was not really involved in that on the corporate side. And one of the things he's saying is the reason for that was to avoid having to pay any liability from, the devastating basketball game that had happened in the early 90s, where he was the subject of wrongful death lawsuits because of the multiple deaths that had occurred as a result of that basketball game that Diddy was behind organizing. So that was really, surprising to hear.
Yeah, that was a big allegation, because the families of the victims killed in that stampede, it was horrible. We're talking about December 28th, 1991. Combs, fellow rapper Heavy D, they hosted this charity basketball game. The game took place at the gymnasium of the City College of New York. And according to the New York Daily News, before the basketball game started, people who weren't let inside, they broke a window, swarmed toward the entrance of the gym, all went down a staircase. The doors at the bottom of those stairs open towards the stairs, not towards the gym. So once a crowd got down there, they couldn't get the doors open and people started being crushed. 9 people died. Dozens of others were injured. And there were no criminal charges that were ever filed against anyone for the stampede. But
I was at City College. You understand? I was there. I was doing security. My team was supposed to have the outside. Puff came to me the day before we were supposed to do the job there and told me that Heavy D didn't want us to do the security outside. I had 18 men ready to do the security outside with my dogs like I always do. People knew how we used to roll. We would have the pits, the Rottweilers, you understand? We had that outside locked up. So anybody try to bum rush, anybody do that, we had the gates, the whole 9 yards. So we could stop all that. You know how people gonna get down in Harlem. You understand? So, and then when you got LL Cool J, you got Mike Tyson coming through there, and they coming through the front door so people see them. So they gonna go crazy. LL was the hottest thing out at that time. Mike Tyson was the hottest thing out at that time. They got all kinds of stars and people in there already. They was coming through the back. They came through the front. And it caused the door to be bum rushed. But if they had the gates up, if they had the dogs, and with the help of the police, that shit would have never happened, bro. That shit would have never happened. I was there. I saw it. I saw Jessica run down the steps after she grabbed the money box because my man Eddie was protecting her. And Eddie's the one called me on the walkie-talkie and said, yo, Jessica just locked me in outside the gym, Gene. You couldn't go down the steps after they bum rushed the door. You understand? I had to run around the whole gym on the outside, around the gym, down the steps, run across the basketball court, and open the front door. When I opened that one door, because it pushed inside, people start squeezing through that. Then I just kept doing the doors, and people was coming in there, falling dead, right out, just falling out right there. And once they got in there, they just fell out. It was crazy, bro. He just wanted us to do inside the gym to make sure that nobody, be over the celebrities like that. That's what he wanted my team to do. But most of the celebrities gonna have their own security anyway. You know what I'm saying? That was just a way to cut our security off anyway. So he cut the security and he got the FOIs, and the FOIs left their post, and that's how the people bum rushed the door, and 9 people died by going down those corridors.
And you blame Diddy for that?
Yeah, I do. It's his fault.
Unsurprisingly, Janice Combs has publicly denied the claims made in the documentary, issuing a statement rejecting the portrayal of her role in Diddy's upbringing. Yet, despite the intense and potentially sensitive nature of the content, neither she nor Diddy have pursued legal action against 50 Cent or Netflix. Observers suggest that the reason may be more nuanced. The documentary appears to resonate with aspects of the story that reflect real dynamics, even if uncomfortable to acknowledge, making it difficult to outright challenge without drawing more attention to the narrative.
I know the freak offs that his son is there. Like, it seems like he likes to get down with his kids.
Yeah. But that wasn't all. Just the to hear Little Rod say, like, the boys were around. Roger Bonds talked about the children as well. What kind of parenting relationship is that? But then again, that goes back to the conversation of Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's daughter. It was all known that she was spotted in them streets with Justin, and then she was spotted in them streets with Diddy, and they all tried to sit there and pretend like that wasn't what it was. Like, I don't know if anybody has not noticed, but ever since Diddy got pinched, they've all been trying to pretend like all of the stuff that we've seen that happened, that they was all involved and didn't happen.
Overnight, lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs trying to stop the release of a Netflix docuseries due out today.
We have to find somebody that'll work with us that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business.
The series contains never-before-seen footage of Combs debating strategy with his lawyers in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last year.
I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution.
It also includes video of Combs greeting fans in Harlem.
Off my back, bro. I'm gonna win. Long as you win, be with it. I'll accept it.
And then saying this about the interaction moments later.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like 150 hugs.
Now Combs' lawyers are demanding Netflix pull the series, threatening legal action, claiming Netflix is using stolen footage that was never authorized for release as part of what they call a shameful hit piece. The series is executive produced by Combs' longtime rival, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, and director Alex Stapleton, who said, quote, "We obtained the footage legally and have the necessary rights," end quote. Before the cease and desist demand was sent yesterday, Stapleton and Jackson sat down with our Robin Roberts to discuss the series.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
It's not personal.
The show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. Not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this.
The Netflix documentary already included clips of Diddy discussing strategy with Justin about controlling certain narratives, highlighting how carefully crafted messaging played a role in his public image. During the trial, observers noted gestures that seemed to blend real-life events with deliberate PR moves, such as supporters wearing themed shirts tied to a meme coin. 50 Cent quickly responded to the news of the new documentary, promoting it on his social media and signaling that unseen material and fresh insights were on the way. Meanwhile, Diddy's sons, Sian and Justin, are reportedly developing their own docuseries on the Zeus network to share their perspective and personal experiences. The promotional activity, including 50 Cent's posts, underscores how the unfolding story is as much about narrative and perception as it is about events themselves. With Janice Combs now positioned at the center of the conversation, Season 2 promises to offer revelations that could reshape public understanding of the family's history and influence, making it a must-watch when it drops.